गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति 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 हरि Om. Let there be peace and love amongst all the human beings of the universe. Let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have started the contemplation on chapter number 18, that is the quenching of the mind, calming of the mind. अपना चित्त कैसा प्रशमन करना है, कि चित्त को कैसा शांत करना है, इसके बारे में ये चैप्टर चालू किया अपन ने किया है। पहला टॉपिक है चित्तस्य द्वे बीजे, द टू सीड्स और द प्राइम कॉज ऑफ द माइंड। ये माइंड किस वजह से जीवित रहता है और ये माइंड जो अपन सोचते हैं, वो जो अपने को परेशान करता है, माइंड क्या चीज है। तो श्री राम उवाच, पहला श्लोक 19वां अध्याय और पेज नंबर 192। श्री राम उवाच ब्रह्मन् संस्मृति संस्मृद्धि कालतायां वितता कृते किं बीजं तस्य किं बीजं बीजं तस्यापि की भवेत्। श्री राम जी ने एक ही प्रश्न में तीन प्रश्न पूछ लिए। रेवर्ड सेज, व्हाट इज द सीड of the grapevine of the worldly existence which has spread its form। ये जो वर्ल्डली एग्जिस्टेंस का दिख रहा है, इसका सीड क्या है। सेकंड इज व्हाट इज द कॉज ऑफ दैट सीड, वो जो सीड है उसका और उसका क्या कॉज है, उसका सीड क्या है। एंड व्हाट इज द ओरिजिन इवन ऑफ दैट कॉज, उस सीड का ओरिजिन क्या है, व्हाट इज द ओरिजिन ऑफ दैट कॉज। सो द रामजी इज आस्किंग थ्री क्वेश्चंस इन वन। What is the cause of this world? What is the cause of that world? What is the cause of that world? So three subsets he has asked. So beautiful story comes. Grapes are sour. This story indicates that we are unable to catch the truth. So we feel that there is no point contemplating, there is no point studying this truth, and no point this thing. But the people who really follow, who know how to taste the grapes, they know how sweet they are. So we should be in a position to contemplate tranquility, holy company, and inquiry. If you do this, these are all four gateways of the liberation. So now Vasishtha Rishi is answering the question. Sanskrite vratate bijam shariram viddhi raghava bijamasya sharirasya chittam ashavashanugam. Raghava, know the body as the creeper of worldly existence. पहला क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर दिया। नो द बॉडी एज अ क्रीपर ऑफ वर्ल्डली एग्जिस्टेंस। दिस बॉडी, moment we have a body identification, body consciousness, that enlivens the world start happening. So that is the first cause. And what is the cause of this body? The origin of this body is the mind. So if body is there, if it is sleeping, if it is in a dormant condition, nothing can happen to an individual and he'll never suffer. He is there, eating, sleeping, enjoying his life, and not worried, not going here and there, or not worried at all, not thinking about any subject, nothing to do, nowhere to go. This is also one of the mantras. So he is at bliss, cheerful, happy, contented, and over and above cool and relaxed because there is nothing, no topic in his mind. So body, and second is the mind. Cause of body is a mind, and cause of that is desires. Following the influence of the origin of the body is the mind, and following the influence of the submission to that desires. And desires are of two kinds, likes and dislikes. You like some things and you like dislikes some things. So next shloka, 3 number. Dve bije chitta vrukshasya vritti vratati dharina ekam prana parispando dvitiyam dhruda bhavana. There are the two origins for the tree of the mind, bearing the creepers of thought. इसको दो origins है tree of mind को, bearing the creepers of thought. One is a moment of prana, that is a vital energy or bioenergy. Second is a firm imagination. So what are the mind imagines that starts happening in the mind, and Vital energy, prana. Prana means not breathing. It is not breathing. Prana is vital energy which is responsible for sociological function and it operates through nervous and other channels of the body. So, shloka number 4. Yada praspadante prana nadi sansparshano gata tada samvedanam mayam chittam ashu prajapate. When the vital air or bioenergy moves or vibrates, engaged in its contact with the nadis, channel of bioenergy, then the mind consisting of the feeling is born quickly. So first thing is this vital energy because of the channels of the body energy, it starts. You're not moving anywhere there. Only because of the vital energy, the minds get enlivened. So what is the seed of this body? Mind which is of the order of influence of desire, expectations, hope. Body and mind are held together by the glue of desires, expectations, hope and worries. ये अपना जो बॉडी और दे माइंड है ये एक ग्लू से अटैच रहता है वो ग्लू क्या है डिजायर्स एक्सपेक्टेशंस होप्स एंड वरीज when inherent potentiality in Paramatma becomes activated, that is praspandate. So moment it get activated, the mind becomes enlivened. In a deep sleep also minimum spanda is going on. Only life is maintained, but when we wake up, prana shakti permeates in fraction of second through all this nadi. It starts working. So even moment you wake up, you start gathering all the mental impressions of yesterday's. Sati sarva samasam with prana spandena bodhita. Samvedam atyati tato dukkhani chetasa. Conscious existing wholly even arose by the moment of the prana proceeds towards what is fit to be pursued or known on account of attention or desire. Then arises this sorrow of the mind. So this conscious existing wholly even arose by the moment of prana. Even though consciousness has nothing to do, but because of the prana, moment of prana proceeds towards what is to be pursued or known on account of the attention of desire. Moment the desire comes in mind, he thinks this has to be done, so he starts working on that. And there arises the sorrow in the mind because of that. Tato dukkhini chetasa, because of that the sorrow comes in individual's life. Sloka number 6. Yogina chitta shantartam kurvanti pranarodhanam chityasyoत्पत्तिम param vasana shunu. Yogin practice the restraint of pranas, that is vital air, for the sake of tranquility of the mind, that is the cessation of thought. Here the other manner of the birth of mind, occasioned by mental impression, carried through the succession of previous birth. So there are two things now. One is because of prana, which is a vital energy. Once individual is sleeping, and when we wake up, moment he wakes up, all vital energy starts flowing through the nadis, and because of that, mind gets enlivened. Moment the mind gets enlivened, then there is a desire, likes or dislikes, and it start gathering all thoughts of maybe last day, previous week, previous month, previous year, previous life, and that is called as mental impressions carried through the succession of previous births. These mental impressions are vasanas, constitute to the memory of the experience in the present incarnation and impressions on the unconscious stored during previous incarnations. So these vasanas are like, if you take an example of pot in which the garlic paste has been kept. So what happens that garlic paste, even though it has been used, pot is properly washed, still smell of the garlic doesn't go. That is called as lingering smell. Similarly, our lingering thoughts are left over from the last birth, last decade, last year, last month, last week, and last day, and that remains. And that really causes us to create desire, expectations, hope likewise. So any object which enters mind creates uncomfortable condition in the mind. That uncomfortable condition in the mind is called as desire. दृढभावनाया त्वक्तं पूर्वापरविचारणं यदा आदानं पदार्थस्य वासनां स्वप्रकृतिका. The seizing of the object by firm idea or imagination, abandoning the investigation or reflection on the earlier and later, is declared as vasana or mental impression. So, moment you start thinking about some idea, some imagination, some uh, investigations, so these are all called as mental impressions, which are vasana. Shloka number 8. Bhavitam tivra samvegat atmanam yat tadeva sa bhavatyashu cha tadrupo vasana vivashikruta. Whatever is imagined resolutely by oneself, he is only that. Soon he becomes of the nature of that, brought under the control of mental impression. So what you think that only Eurips. There is a very good example in Yogavaasishtha only, like Hindu's Putra. What they were thinking, like father mother died and yet Hindu was a pious Brahmin, and then the elder brother think what has to become, what is in the, whether we should become engineer, doctor or some profession. He dropped everything, minister, CM, prime minister, everything. Then he understood that I should to become Brahma, because Brahma only creates the Brahmanda. Accordingly, Hindu's Putra created 10 of them, created 10 Brahmandas. So this is the power of thought. So whatever the mental impressions comes to your mind, imagine, and that gets fructified. That gets fructified, and accordingly the mind starts functioning, and he acted on that. So it is a control of thing, mind. So shloka number 9. Prapashyanti yadevaitat sadvistiti vimuhati vasana vega vevashat swarupam prajahati sa. He is confused that this here, which he surely sees, is the real thing. He forsakes his natural state of accounts of having lost control over himself through the force of mental impressions. So what happens is, now once you get this mental impression and once you get this vital energy activated and levered, so then he get confused and he starts running after that, and he feels this is only the natural state and loses his control over himself. Shloka number 10. Yada vastuni vastutvam tam tat chittam vidiraghava dudabhyasa padarthakvasnat ati chanchalam chitta sanjayate janma jara marana karanam. Raghav, know that as the mind which pursues reality in unreality on account of the mental impression solely of the objects, the mind which is of the firm habit and extremely fickle becomes the cause of birth, death, and old age and death. So this mind only becomes the cause, because what happens is we are trying to find reality in this unreality. Actually, what is the world? World is a long, long dream. All here, what is the purpose we are here? You can take the two things. Either this is whole is the divine, everything is divine, there is none other than the divinity in this universe, or whole is the illusion. Any one of these you take and be happy. But what happens is, no, what we see is feel is reality in the unreality. We see outside relations and possessions, we feel so enchanting, so real, and then we get caught into that. Shloka number 11. यदा न वासते किश्चित् हयोपादाय रूपीयत स्थियते सकलं त्यक्त्वा तदा चित्तं न जायते. When nothing whatsoever appearing as fit to be abandoned or fit to be acquired is lodged in the mind, it remains having renounced everything, then it does not rise. So this is a very important shloka. Yada na vasyate kinchit heyopadeya rupiyat. When nothing whatsoever in this world appearing as fit to be abandoned or fit to be acquired is lodged in the mind, यानी किसी को कुछ चीज छोड़ना है, कोई किसी को चीज पकड़ना है, ये दोनों माइंड में नहीं है. And it remains having renounced everything. It renounced everything. आया तो आया, गया तो गया. If he gets good. If he doesn't get, nothing to worry. Then it does not rise. Then that mind doesn't rise. So when mind doesn't rise, what happens is there are no thoughts, and when there are no thoughts, mind merges into the consciousness. So what happens is divinity is expressed. Divinity starts expressing to you, and that is the truth. So that's why we keep on saying that whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, you are divine. But then what happens is we take this reality as unreal. The truth, divinity, we take as unreal, but and the world which is unreal, जो आता है रहता है और चले जाता है, we take that as a real. So then we are caught into that web of mind. मन के ये वेब में अटक जाते हैं. तो what will require? We require the understanding. समझदारी बहुत important चीज है. We have to have the समझदारी. Without समझदारी, nothing is going to happen in our life. And if we are really understanding has been matured enough by contemplating on the Yogavaasishtha, what will happen is you'll always remain cheerful, blissful, happy, contented, and over and above cool and relaxed. Because what you'll understand is Haricha. Whatever is happening is because of the God's grace. And Hari Krupa. Hari Krupa is God's grace. And Hari Icha is God's will. If it goes against our wish, it is a God's will. Hari Icha. हुआ तो हुआ, नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ. So you have to keep your mind tranquil under all the situations. That is very important. You have to keep mind contented under all situations. You have to keep mind along with the holy company. You have to keep mind under always in inquiry mode. That is, who am I? ये सब करना बहुत जरूरी है. नेक्स्ट श्लोका 12 इज सर्वम अंतम परित्यज्य शीतलाशय वर्तियत वृत्तिस्तमपि तत् चित्तम असद्रुपम उदाहतम. That mind is declared to be non-existent nature, which have given up everything within, abiding in its cool residing place, that is retreat, though existing in its course of moment. And a mind is very much there. It is functioning. It is doing all the activities. It is very much natural. Living a simple and disciplined life, doing all the activities, worldly activities like taking food, doing job, moving around, going to the market, everything is doing. But as if what? This is all non-existence nature. And remaining cool, resting easily, and doing whatever the jobs comes to his credit because of the prarabdha. What are the jobs comes because of his own doings. So do it happily. Whether it is Hari Krupa or Hari Icha, you have to do it. So he does that. Next shloka 30 number. Brushta bijopama yesham vasana rasa varjita achitta iti kathyante jivan mukta ite sthita. They are declared to be the free from the mind. Now, who are the people who are declared to be free from the mind? Whose mental impressions, that is knowledge derived from the memory, is destitute of taste or liking and resembles a roasted seed. That is its inability to sprout. They are indeed liberated while living. That means they are very much in the world, living a very normal life, living, talking to everyone, doing gossip, interacting, laughing, everything they are doing, but they are not doing three things: no suggestions, no comments, and no interpretation. They are living as wherever you are, whatever you are, whenever you are, be 100%. They are living in 100%. So, whatever comes in their life cycle, so that is a prarabdha. They take as a prarabdha, and this mental impression doesn't disturb them. So, if something sorrowful things happens in their life, they'll be sorrow for some time, but they will not become miserable and sorrowful. And if there is something very jubilant happens, they will not become very jubilant and very get excited because of that. So no excitation in their life and no frustration in their life. They remain always the tranquil. So the last two shlokas, वासनावशता प्राणस्पन्द तेन च वासना जायते चित्तबीजस्य तेन बीजाङ्कुरक्रम एकस्मित्तु तयो श्रीने श्रीप्रं द्वे अपि नश्यता. So the movement of prana or vital energy happens under the influence of mental impressions. So in this vital energy, when we wake up in the morning, when it starts enliving, the mind becomes enlivened, and all the nadis starts functioning, and your mind starts immediately working in a fraction of a second. This because of the influence of mental impressions. If your mental impressions are tranquil, nothing can disturb. Also, mental impressions as gathered through the movement of prana or of vital energy. By that, there arises the succession of seeds and sprout to the mind, which is the seed. When one among these two is worn off, even the two are speedily destroyed. So naturally, prana or vital energy is automatic thing, but then if you control the influence of mental impression, automatically prana or vital energy also becomes quieted. It also becomes very cool and relaxed. So what has to be done now? There are, as we have seen that there are the two seeds. How the question started? The seed of this world is the body. Seed of this body is the mind. Seed of this mind is desires, likes, and dislikes. So what has to be done now? These mental impressions has to be controlled. And how it is possible? We know the mantra. Dekho, suno, bolo mat. See, hear, don't talk. That is a beautiful mantra, and accordingly, if you really do that, what will happen? The mental impressions and the vital energy, which is causing the origin of the tree of the mind, and which becomes the creeper, and then which samsar starts, and there are uh, all the desire, expectation, hopes gets influenced along with the worries, and then we feel this world is very real, and then we start engaging in this world and then suffer. So, how to come out of this? Mental impressions has to be dissolved by only an understanding that the reality is the truth. The reality is not this world creeper of what the word used here is a grapevine creeper of the worldly existence. ये दिखता है like the illusionary water. Illusionary water. As a Mrugajal in Rajasthan, it looks like water, but it is not water. It looks like we are tempted to go there and drink that water if you are thirsty, but it is not water. It is never a water. It is only catching our attention towards it. Similarly, this world is also in relative existence. It is very much there. We have to interact. We have to do all our normal work, which is required for maintenance of body, but nothing more than that. Moment you get entangled and become sorrowful or joyful because of this world, then it becomes samsara, and then it becomes a state of miserable or state of worry or state of expectation and state of hope and state of desire comes in your mind. So you can never be in a Jivan Mukta under such stage. So as long as we are identified with body, waking experience play the role very well, but we don't get entangled with that role. We have to see that we don't get entangled by that role. Thought cannot be born without a reference point. So don't give any reference to this mind. Absence of everything that will bring what will happen? Nothing to gain and nothing to lose. In the same manner, if we don't have to become divine, we don't have to gain Atma Paramatma, we don't have to get realization. We are divine whether we want it or not, whether we know it or not, we are divine. Hold on to this principle. So it is so slippery that we forget this principle because this world, as told in Kathopanishad, it is Bahirmukta. अंतर्यामी ने ही जगत को बहिर्मुख करके रखा है. स्वयं अस्तित्व ने इंद्रियों को बहिर्मुख करके रखा है. इसलिए व्यक्ति बाहर देखता है, अंदर की ओर नहीं. कोई बुद्धिमान पुरुष ही अपने इंद्रियों के साथ, अपने विषयों के साथ अमर तत्व की इच्छा करते हुए कि अंदर की ओर देखता है. दैट इज अ बाध वृत्ति. His seeds are very much there. That is useful for eating. Proteins are there, but they are not having a germinating capacity. So Bhada Vritti, it cannot germinate. What generally germinates through thoughts? Likes and dislikes, comments, expectations, worries. These are all dropped because he knows this is an illusionary world. Why to have any expectations from that? Now there is a tricky question. A lady used to follow one saint, and she asked, "Sir, Revered Sir, please tell me how can I get realization of God?" So he started laughing and he answered very tricky answer also. So that Mahatma said, a dog was trying to bite his own tail and he went circle and circle and he fell down. एक कुत्ता अपना ही पूंछ खाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा था. वो गोल 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 घुमा और नीचे गिर गया. So she could not understand what is this realization of God. So he went to another monk and asked, "Sir, that Rever sir has told me the answer. What is the realization?" So he laughed and he said, "I want to realize, I want to experience. I am not having that experience. This itself is illusion because you are divine. Try to have understanding. Unless you bring this understanding, tranquility, contentment will not come. And this is understanding will come only through holy company, only through satsang and only through inquiry. So inquire, who am I? That's what been told to him. Why you are unable to accept it? Because we have not yet got rid of body identification. We are so firm. Our mind is so firm by the glue of desire, expectation, hope, and worries, and it is attached to the body. So you have to drop a body identification, you have to drop a mind identification, you have to drop God identification, and what remains cannot be told by the tongue. देहात्म भाव का त्याग, जीवात्म भाव का त्याग, ईश्वरात्म भाव का त्याग, जो बचा है वही तो अपन है. तो वही यहाँ बता रहे. So what is the seed of this body? Mind, which is in order of desire, influence, desire, expectation, hopes. Body and mind are held together by the glue of desire, expectation, hopes, and worry. And likewise, because of this intense longing, you become that. That is what personalities are born, and personalities are born with the wrong notions. In fact, we are all born as a human beings, but out of these human beings, notions are created and bhavitam tivra samvegat. Only thing, it is only a bhavna, that is a bhavna. And this bhavna itself makes us with the upadhis like we are basically man and woman, but what becomes is like mother, father, sister, brother, and likewise Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, likewise rich, poor, and all those stuff. So all worldly position achievements we start feeling real. All relations we feel real. Under such wrong notions, then there is no hope. We can't expect anything. So real spiritual practice, we should not get obsessed or influenced by any one of them. अपने को इससे परेशान नहीं होना है. Let everything, everybody lead their own life. Don't get involved in somebody else's life. Generally, we see the elder people worrying for small things. So this is not the either the religion or spirit. It is a worrying entertainment. So one has to be aware of that. And even simply listening to what been said in the satsang, it's of no use. It will help little bit, but again, all the clouds of this non-real world will come over him and destroy the whole personality. So only listening is not going to help us. You have to translate this knowledge into day-to-day activities. अपने जीवन में इसको अंगीकृत करना पड़ेगा. So how do you get it done? Live as a father in front of a son, but don't become miserable. Or otherwise, live as a son in front of father, but don't become miserable. So, what a father says, play a role very nicely and relax. You know, it is a role. Whether you listen or not, that is a different thing. So, don't get too much attached. Don't get too much involved in this world. Live in this world, but do not have obsession. You have to give the obsession. So, when we look into the mirror, we do not have an obsession to get that reflection along with us. Rather, we use that reflection for our betterment. Similarly, in this world, use this world for our betterment, happiness, tranquility, and creating our notion that right notion that we are the truth, we are undivided, unfragmented consciousness. We are not what we are seeing by the naked eyes. So you will not even struggle 1% in your meditation if this understanding comes. Likes plus dislikes is equal to desire. If zero desire level, mind is dissolved in consciousness. So consciousness plus desire is equal to mind. So Yogavaasishtha, what Yogavaasishtha is doing? Not allowing mind to be born. Yogavaasishtha अपना मन का जन्म नहीं होने दे रहा है. Not like treatment like psychiatrist. Here it is, ना कहो को दोस्ती, ना किसी से बैर. And that's it. So when mind is not born, all problems are dissolved. Moment the mind is not born, all the problems are dissolved. So give yourself zero choice. Life becomes easy and simple. All the inner things in life, mind, likes, dislikes, impressions are given for good. They are all gone. Therefore, it is at the peace with itself. Therefore, we have to remind ourselves that peace is the most important thing. And how is that peace? Peace is not opposite to the sound. It is prashanti. Whether there is a peace or whether there is a disturbance, your mind should not generate the thoughts in it. So mind is dissolved completely in the chetana, that is life force. It is unmanifested mind, and his mind is not disturbed by complementary opposites. His mind is unattached by the dvandva of the world. So honor or dishonor does not disturb him at all. Jivan Purush Mukta, although functioning through the mind, but they are not influenced by the limitations of the mind. And there, what are the limitations of the mind? Likes, dislikes. If that comes, mind gets enlivened. If we have a Bhada Vritti, then mind slowly get dissolved. So Vasana, Pranaspandana control one another. Through education, mind can be controlled and activities can be controlled, and then Pranaspandana is also controlled. So what is the mantra again? It comes, see, hear, don't talk. Dekho, suno, bolo, mat. Or wherever you are, whatever you are, whenever you are, be 100%. It is the object of perception, cause of desire and activities. So real practice is, do not give too much importance to the objectivity. Drop the objectivity and be happy always. With this prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu, submitting the divine fruits to the holy fruits of Sri Ramachandra. We are nowadays recording this YouTube contemplation on the essence of yoga, still same chapter wise, same revision wise, but according to the time which is now suiting, it is not exactly 2:30, somewhere here and there. If possible, it will be 2:30 otherwise. But every day there will be one video upload. Thanks and best wishes.